Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV. The joy and the pain. Eternal pain at the minute. What we need is a nice, easy game. So, who have we got next? Well, we got Tom from Notts County Talk. Walsall face Notts County. Not a great time to be playing you guys, but Notts County, although sixth in the table, you've had a few defensive issues, haven't you, Tom?
A few is an understatement, I'd say. We've conceded 36 goals, which is 5 more than you.
Yeah, that might be evened up after the weekend.
Well, I don't know. I fancy you'd score maybe at least 3 the way we're playing at the minute.
I wish.
I don't know. Look, we got promoted from the National League in a penalty shootout. I know we should have. Well, we deserved to be promoted, but at the end of the day, it was a bit of luck in a penalty shootout. So we should be happy with wherever we're sat. And we're 1 point off third place. So I would have snapped your hand off at the start of the season. But the signs are there right now that we won't be there for very long, which is...
The thing is, I think you get found out if you're not careful, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And Shrewsbury, I saw some of the goals against Shrewsbury. Some of that was a bit raw, wasn't it?
I think that was like almost the straw that broke the camel's back. It was appalling. It's been going for weeks, and we've had, it started off where people were starting to really notice it and thinking this isn't very good, and people were saying, look, we've just been promoted from the National League, give it time. And then it grew and grew, and we shipped 5 at Colchester, some awful mistakes, and then more people started to get on it. But I think now you won't find a Notts fan. Well, I haven't yet, and I'd be very surprised if you find a Notts fan that now says this defence is good enough to even challenge for playoffs, because like you say, it was all right at the start of the season, but we've well and truly been found out. As you say, yeah, not good.
You're not got any problems scoring goals, have you? Langstaff, as expected, is rattling them in.
Yeah.
15 goals, 3 assists is impressive. Making the transition to League Two.
Yeah, he could have had a lot more as well. Like, he gets in those positions. He doesn't. All his game is. I know he's got those 3 assists. All his game is his goal scoring and pressing the defense. I mean, he's very, very good at pressing. Very, very quick as well. Works so hard. I would be surprised if he's not got the highest running stats of any player on the team, even central midfielders. He's just literally everywhere. He'll cover a fullback, and then he might touch the ball 6-7 times in a half. But yeah, 42 goals in the National League. He knew he'd make the step up. I think not quite this well. I mean, he's on for nearly 30, isn't he? So
well, he's gonna get through 30. I'd have thought, the way he's going.
Yeah. So I imagine there'll be people in for him in January.
Yeah. I think there'll be people in for him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had some people scouting him out from the National League, but you never know. I think people didn't want to take a punt in case he didn't make that step up. Shamanga from Chesterfield went to Peterborough, didn't make the step up, and he was a goal scoring machine. I know he had an injury, but I think people were a bit cautious, and he's come straight in and he scored 15 goals. And I think you realise he can play at a high level.
Yeah.
It'll take a lot though. He's on a big contract. It'll take a lot to take him from his mid-season. The
thing is, I think, as you say, they're just a point off second. Stockport sort of seem to be running away with it. They're 5 points clear of Wrexham. But Wrexham, Barrow, Mansfield, Crewe and yourselves, it seems any 2 from the 5 at the moment for finishing top 3.
Yeah. Barrow.
It's only your defence that's messing you up, isn't it? Goal scoring wise, you're absolutely ramming them in.
The trouble is we have to play the way we play to attack the way we attack. So if we change the way we defend, playing out from the back is where every single one of our mistakes is. You say you saw the goals from Friday in the FA Cup against Shrewsbury, but if we don't play like that, we can't attack the way we do. We don't draw teams onto us. And if we played this way in the Premier League, you'd have Premier League quality defenders and the mistakes wouldn't happen. But we're playing this way in League Two with, I don't want to say League Two standard defenders, because
that's effectively what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
But they're not at the minute. I mean, we played this way in the National League, and the only reason teams didn't score more past, I think we're on the same number of goals conceded in the whole of last season exactly now. because teams didn't punish us because their strikers weren't good enough. We played some part-time teams. But if we get to January and we're still in the hunt, we have to invest in the defence, because I'm not one of these people that's going to bash the defenders, because he's playing who he's got available. It's not the defender's fault that they are being played. I can't hammer them for that. They're just, at the minute and all season, they've not been good enough. If me and you were defenders and that's all they had, you couldn't bash us for being there, because we wouldn't be good enough, and currently they're not good enough either. So it's gone on too long now to be a blip as well.
Manager Luke Williams was just sort of saying it's just basic concentration. It's sort of letting them down. But that's the quality of the player sometimes, as you say.
Well, I mean, I think we've got our most consistent defender is a 19 or 20-year-old on loan from Stoke, Lewis Macari, and I would have him in every single game, and he is the most consistent. I've seen him make one error in the 4 games, and he tracked back and won the ball back after he lost it. I mean, I saw one of our centre backs make 2 errors within 60 minutes, and could have made more. Both led to goals just on Friday night.
Is it Baldwin that's the one that's struggling the most?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he can go from the sublime to just a nightmare. I mean, I'd go back to Boreham Wood in the playoff semi-final. He scored from 25 yards, a rocket into the bottom corner, and 2 minutes later, just ball watched and let a defender in, let a striker in behind him. They almost scored, and he had to nick it away from him last second. It's so frustrating. But at this level, one mistake in the National League is 3 or 4 mistakes in League Two, because the step up is quite high.
David McGoldrick, are you a bit disappointed with him so far, or are you happy with him? He's got 9 goals, 5 assists, which in most teams would be very happy with. Have you been a bit disappointed with him, or are you very happy?
At home, unbelievable. At home, he has been comfortably one of the best top 2 players this season. Away from home, he's struggling a little bit. I don't know what it is. Think back to the games like Crewe was a little bit anonymous. But at home, when the crowd's behind us and we've got the freedom to play how we almost want to play, then he's absolutely class. 9 goals and 5 assists, 14 goal involvements. When he wasn't brought in to be the main goal scorer, we've got Langstaff for that. I think, you've got to say overall happy with him. Away from home, just want a little bit more.
Danny Crowley, he's doing well, isn't he?
Class, from Morecambe. Came down. I know Morecambe came down, but he's made the step down and could easily have stayed in League One. Like 5'9", 5'10", and most of his goals are from headers. Very, very good player as well. And Jody Jones is the other one for me to watch out for.
He was the next one I was going to mention. Jody Jones, 9 assists, on the left side of midfield, isn't he? That's a lot of the balls coming from the centre halves to him then.
They look for him or Aaron the Man most of the time. But Jody Jones, Aaron the Man will knock it past the player and just use his raw pace. Jody doesn't necessarily have that. He will take a player on. And I've often seen teams double up against him. I saw Colchester double up against him. He beat both players and curled it with his weaker foot into the top corner. He's very, very good. Off the back of 2 or 3 serious ACL injuries, I think he went something like 900 days without completing a full 90 minutes. So we're all still, watching him. It took him probably 6 months to come back to full match sharpness, and he's doing really well now. I mean, he pulled up with cramp chasing a fullback the other night or the other game, and the whole crowd went silent because we're just hearts in mouth. What could it be? But as long as he keeps fit, phenomenal player. And my pick for that and so forth.
When a player's had a big injury like that, they are expected to get sort of little niggles. They're not going to come straight in.
No.
Over the years, Walsall have had some that have sort of had big injuries. They come back and you think, if only we can get him fit, and it never happens. But Jody Jones, hope he stays fit for you. It sounds like he's a real good bit of quality for you. Form-wise, you've won 2 of the last 5. Home win against Crawley 3-1 and 4-2 at home to Bradford. By comparison, Walsall have drawn 2 of the last 5. 0-0 at home to Forest Green. and a 1-1 draw with Crawley. But for Walsall, I think the biggest disappointment, we played before the Forest Green game, we played Harrogate, and we dominated the game. Had something like 26 shots, but only got 3 on target or something like that. All those 26 shots were effectively shots from midfield. The strikers didn't get a sniff, and then we conceded a late goal for a very sloppy keeper error, really.
Yeah.
And that sort of dented the confidence. And then not being able to beat Forest Green at home was another drop. And then Barrow away, we didn't expect too much from Barrow away, but we lost 2-0. But it was the nature of the performance. But we get on to the Walsall manager, and it doesn't make sense, some of his decisions. Against Harrogate at home and against Forest Green at home, he plays with 1 up front, goes to Barrow away and plays 2 up front.
We struggled at Barrow away.
Yeah.
We got a 1-1 draw. We really struggled. We controlled the game for half an hour and then went to pot. I think Barrow are a really good side.
They are a good side. Really, they've got out the cup. They've gone out the cup. Maidstone, wasn't it, beat them?
Yeah.
And now Walsall, the on-off game with Alfreton, it was postponed on Saturday. We played last night. And it's like Walsall made the decision to play like a non-league team because there was just no quality on show at all.
Yeah.
Alfreton have got a very long throw. So basically once you've gone past 5 yards over the halfway line, they were throwing it into the box. And Walsall withstood that very well. But Walsall offered nothing. The Walsall manager, Matt Sadler, is under immense pressure. And we are dropping close to the relegation zone, which is unthinkable. Bearing in mind, the Trevella Group came in, we've got an increased investment, and you would expect Walsall to be up the top half of the division as a minimum. But as we are at the moment, the fans have pretty much given up on Sadler. Sacked in the morning was sort of ringing out after last night's game. So it's probably not going to be a great atmosphere for the Walsall team and the Walsall manager. I've got my tickets. I'm going to be there with my lad. And I can imagine Matt Sadler getting a lot of grief. But we are only on Wednesday, and I wouldn't be surprised if something happens between now and Saturday, because normally when a team are on a bad run, the chairman will come out and say, "Oh, we're firmly behind him," and that sort of thing. That conversation hasn't happened. We've heard nothing from the board at all. So I fully expect them to sort of come out and say, "Yeah, we're sticking behind Matt Sadler." But being Americans are very sort of cutthroat and ruthless, aren't they? So I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's not in charge on Saturday. Because I can't imagine that they would leave it any longer. Because we had a fan chat last Sunday, and the amount of people saying, like, "I don't want to renew my season ticket. I've had enough of this rubbish." And it is a real struggle to be a Walsall fan. It seems like we're just not playing anywhere near the right formation, and then substitutions, he sort of leaves it to the last minute. Like, bear in mind, we were playing Alfreton, and fitness, you would expect us to come on top fitness near the end of the game. That didn't happen. They brought a couple of subs on, and we brought on one sub with 15 minutes to go, and he was Jack Earing. He had an ACL injury. He's been out of commission since January, and it was his first sort of taste of football again, really, for the first team. So he was hardly the guy that was coming on to sort of win the game. He was coming on for a few minutes. So, like, he didn't try to change the formation or any staff, effectively, any players, to sort of try and make sure we grabbed it by the bull by the horns and got the win. So it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. We're sort of treading very close to dropping down, and like this squad is a much better squad. We should be in the top half of the table, but given, I say, 2 points in the last 5 games, that's relegation form, and being near the bottom ain't going to help. Our next run of games, obviously yourselves on Saturday, then we got Tranmere at home, Accrington away, and they've been doing well, Crewe at home, who were right up there, Wrexham at home, and that's where we finished the year. So
yeah, tricky fixtures. I wasn't really impressed. We went to Crewe a few weeks ago. I wasn't impressed at all by them. They scored a penalty, 96th minute, very dubious, but I don't think they were anything fantastic.
Do you know why I've just laughed there, Tom?
Yeah, go on.
We battered Crewe.
Yeah,
we were 2-0 up. They pulled one back, 2-1. We got the game won. Last minute, ball into the box, took a bounce, and just ended up in the roof of the net.
Yeah. Of all the teams that are up there, I think they'll fall away. Whether we do depends on what we do defensively, but I don't think they'll be there much longer. They've done very, very well though.
The thing is, they're getting results, aren't they? It's that stickability, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's that stickability. 36 points from 19 games. Arguably, win the game in hand. They're second.
Yeah.
Wrexham are obviously coming good. Barrow, very good side. Notts County, obviously, come January, you're going to be in the market for defenders.
You hope so. Yeah, really do. But whether we will, I don't know. We've spent very heavily on wages for people like Crowley and McGoldrick.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what there is left.
Do you think they've sort of rolled the dice to sort of make sure they get up, and they'll be in trouble if they don't? Is it one of those or not?
No, there was a fans forum a couple of weeks ago, and they said we're within a year from being classed as a fully sustainable club.
Okay.
That's self-sufficient, because we were in an awful state 4.5 years ago, and we're taking over. So they're looking at being. They've been very smart with money. Very smart with money. Yeah, I think we'll be okay in that sense.
Okay. Defensively, Walsall, I think, even though Matt Sadler has sort of got his knockers and very justified criticism of him, we have had a lot of problems defensively, injury-wise. We started the season planning to play 3 at the back, and the right centre-back, Priest Farquharson from Newport, he's got injured, so he's hardly played. He's only just come back. Got Daniels in the middle, who's fairly consistent. And in the left side centre-back was Chris Hussey, which we got from Stockport. But at the end of the transfer window, he announced that he was retiring, and Walsall had got no cover for left-sided centre-back, which, bearing in mind, going into the season with a 35-year-old left centre-back and no cover, doesn't sound like a particularly great thing to be doing anyway. And I suppose you can't really blame Matt Sadler for that, because he's not bringing in the players. But yeah, and then the players that came in were inexperienced players who then got injured. So they said last night, because I can't count up things like this, it's the 11th pairing of the season at the centre back.
Yeah, that's no continuity there.
Yeah, that's it. But Priestley Farquharson is solid. He's not particularly a baller, but he's a good defender.
Yeah,
and Donovan Daniels has done okay. So there's a little bit of light there, but most Walsall fans will tell you we have Danny Johnson is our top earner, most potent striker, and he's not playing him. So why would you do that?
No clue. Knowing Notts luck, he'll play on Saturday and score a hat-trick.
So. Well, We hope he will. But the thing is playing Freddie Draper, who we have on loan from Lincoln. And in fairness, Freddie Draper has done very well. Scored 8 goals. He's recently had an injury, so he's only just come back from injury. Yeah, I think he was exhausted more than anything else. Only a young lad. I think he's 19. But he's quite isolated. He was isolated last night. I say playing one up front against Alfreton was sort of a bit sort of crazy, really. If he does play 2 up front, that sort of mixes up the midfield, because we do have a reasonable midfield at times, but it's a tough one to handle at the minute. There's one player we're hoping is going to get a game, Ronan Mayer. He's a bit of a young starlet, just 18, plays on the left side of midfield. He played his first game against Forest Green, first start, after he'd been on loan at Walsall Olympic in the National League North. Did really well for 60 minutes, but then inexplicably didn't get any minutes at all at Barrow the following Tuesday after he'd impressed. And it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I spoke to his dad, and his dad said he thinks it was because it was going to be a bit of a rough game. And it's like, he's just been playing for Walsall in National League North. I think he can take a rough game. And is Barrow any more rough than Forest Green? I don't think so.
No.
So there could be a lot of action before Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised if Sadler's gone, to be honest.
Yeah, hopefully not for our sake, because then there could be a little bit of a bounce. But
well, we need some kind of a bounce, because on our current form, we're going to be going out the league. And as you know yourself, it's not an easy road back.
No, awful to get out of that National League. With
how long were you in the wilderness, as it were?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years, yeah. We saw Barrow go past us, Sutton go up past us, Harrogate, Stockport. Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
That's all.
Just looking into a couple of comments we've got here. We've got Royston. No way will Notts lose on Saturday. Luke will have them fired up after Shrewsbury. So that's the one. Everton FL, who's one of our followers, he's suggesting 4-1 Notts County. And Rob Holden is, I'm sure it's not the Rob Holden, because Rob Holden, no, it's Rory Holden, I'm getting confused. Rory Holden was the guy we had who's, he had an ACL injury, and he never got back. Notts to run riot, Sadler to pass it off as being unlucky with his happy loser mode. Club stinks from top to bottom, and he'll still be in charge after Saturday. I genuinely fear for us as a club. That's the voice of the Sadler's fans at the minute. People are very worried, and the club need to act, because it's difficult. I think how many managers do you know that when things go bad can turn it round? Do you know what I mean?
Not many these days. They don't get given the time. So
no. The thing is, like, we had Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn's a decent manager, but he admits that the players had lost confidence and he couldn't turn it round, couldn't get them going again, and he won 1 in 20, and then got fired. Matt Sadler is heading that way with a better squad.
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Prediction, what do you reckon?
4-3.
4-3.
4-3 Notts. I'll be amazed if you don't score. Amazed. I think I could play up against Notts and I'd score. Honestly, if you do what Bradford did. So Bradford came and sat in. Haven't seen a team sit in against Notts all season. We're 4-0 up at half time on Sky. Second half, their manager, I think it's Graham Alexander now, worked out you can't sit in against Notts, just press, and they make mistakes. Yeah. By 65 minutes, I think it was, or 70 minutes, it was 4-2.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I was sat in the home end thinking, we're not going to win. They're going to get 4 goals in the second half. All we do is presses, and we don't have a clue what to do. So
hopefully, Matt Sadler's saying this. The chairman, Walsall chairman, said at the start of the season how we were going to play, and we're going to play a high press, competitive, aggressive, and front foot football. But a lot of people are quoting that at the moment because we're just not seeing it. We're not seeing it, and I think that is the biggest issue. When the chairman says we're going to play this way, and then you don't play that way, that's obviously going to sort of rile a few people up. As far as Walsall scoring, we haven't scored in 4 games.
I can tell you're scoring on Saturday. I can tell you that now. I would be amazed. I think we've kept 2 clean sheets this season. One was away at Salford, ironically, against Matt Smith, who's one of the league's top scorers, and the other was a 0-0 draw at the start of the season against Morecambe. I think we actually kept a clean sheet against Newport as well. But as I'm trying to have a look now, the last time we kept a clean sheet, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games ago. And we're 6th in the table. You can't be 6th in the table and keep with no clean sheets.
When we go into a goal match, it's probably not going to be a goal. It'll probably be 0-0 now.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I reckon we've had 2-0. I think under Luke Williams, we've had 2 0-0s since the start of last season.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I just hope we don't get hammered, really, because I think confidence is low enough as it is. I would take a point now.
Yeah, we're a very, very good attacking side. Let down defensively. I mean, it could be like the Bradford game. We could be 4 up at half time. I genuinely think we're that good attacking wise against a low confidence side. But if one error and we go to pot, so it'll be an interesting one. Definitely, I wouldn't write Walsall off.
No. Well, I hope it would be typical of Walsall to sort of be so bad and then turn you guys over.
Yeah,
that would be a good one. How many are we expecting there? Because you get quite a good crowd, don't you?
Yeah, on a Saturday, maybe around 10,000.
10,000. Oh, that'd be a great atmosphere then. So that's one to look forward to for everybody that's going.
Definitely.
Excellent. So what do you say? 4-3.
Oh, 4-3.
Yeah, I'll be happy with say a 1-1. I'll be happy with a 1-1. That's my level of confidence. when the host of the team doesn't predict a win, your things are bad.
Well, we should have been 6-0 down at half time. No exaggeration. Luke Williams even said 6 down at half time 2 weeks ago to Wimbledon. We were that bad.
Wimbledon are good, though, aren't they?
They are. They've got Al Hamadi, striker, who is very, very good. Very good player.
He scored against us.
And we don't know what 90 minutes is either. We just played for 45 minutes. So Bradford 4-0 up and then barely had a shot. Wimbledon battered by half time, scored 2 in the second half, and then forgot how to defend again for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, it'll be interesting. You'll get.
You're giving me hope.
Honestly, I think I'm just fed up after you saw the Shrewsbury goals. I think that was just it.
They were very bad goals to concede.
And Shrewsbury had 3 shots all game, and they scored all 3.
Slocum, then, you're disappointed with him?
We brought in Aidan Stone from Port Vale, I think it was, to be the number 1. 15 minutes into his debut away at Sutton, he got sent off straight red for pulling a player down. We went on to concede 5 against Sutton. That tells you a lot.
Yeah, I remember that.
Slocum then comes in. Stone has a couple of good games. 10 minutes into the game away at Colchester, Stone's put back in the team, passes it straight to their striker, who puts it in the back of the net. We then concede 5. Slocum's now the first choice keeper.
Yeah,
but he's not a League 2 goalkeeper. So, but he I don't know. There's no protection in front of him. So.
No, but goalkeeper wise, Owen Evans did well for us last season. But this season, I think with the disruption ahead of him, I think it's affected him, and he's not been great. But he pulled a hamstring last Tuesday and didn't play against Alfreton. We had a young keeper in, Jackson Smith, very young keeper. And he managed to keep a clean sheet, made a couple of decent saves, in fairness. But he's a nervous keeper.
Yeah.
Against Notts County.
It'll be an interesting game. Definitely.
Anyway, that's good. Enjoy the game. Good luck for the season. And if you can let us have some points, we need them. So that'd be good.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. Thanks for having me on anyway.
Cheers, Tom.
Enjoy the game.
What we say on the channel, the joy and the pain. But all pain for Walsall, hoping for an end to the pain. A little glimpse of joy would be great for us. Right then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Cheers. Thanks, Tom.
Cheers.